video. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are diving into an updated Golden Stone tier list that has just dropped. Let's get into it. Oh my gosh, you have no idea how many takes that took me to actually say that properly. Alright, let's show you. So today, I don't know if you notice, if you're in the Discord, if you're not, I'm going to explain and help out. I want to make this as quick as possible, so I'm going to run through it as quickly as possible. So, with a snap of my fingers, we're at the Discord. So, to go through this and just to explain some things, there is a lot. There has been an updated tier list from, of course, big thanks to the King Rat for doing this. And I wonder as well, I think it says big thanks to as well in the, so just big thanks to the King Rat, for putting this tier list together. So everyone in the Discord, add him, thank him. So thank you the Rat as well, for just been taking the time really to put this all together. So let's go into it. So first off, we'll go with the free to play, and I'm going to run through this quickly. There's some new information, and there's some not so new information, basically. So to start us off with, where am I? Here, okay. So the free to play, this is the updated free to play tier list. This list will assume that the players has no means of artificially gathering more options than the game allots naturally. So things like accessibility and output sans major investment will be considered as beneficial. So what that means is that it is a lot harder to get the mythical and union characters and limited time event characters, unless you really go for them and save up. Even then, for example, if you see my previous videos, trying to get Diavolo and Funny Valentine, with diamond spending, you could only do it twice. So you could only do 20 roulettes in total, or 10 times to get them. And it's a chance out of 120, or 116, whatever it is, 112, however it feels that day. I believe maximum is 120. So you can only do 2, or do 2. So you can do 20 a day. That makes it very difficult, it being a luck-based chance, because some people have had really bad luck, and it has taken them all 120. So like a whole week just to get one character. That's what it means for that. But with mythicals as well, it's hard to get them because it's rare. It's like a 1% chance to get it from opening up from an advanced Chronos. And also you can only get some characters from Race Shop or Wish Summits. For example, Vamp Dio, Kakyoin. So it makes it very difficult for a free-to-play player to get that and a new player to get them. All right, let's continue on. You could also look at this as something of an early game tier list where player options will be more limited and one must make the most of what they get. While any character can be obtained by the Race Shop, that usually won't be taken into consideration outside of specific characters. Keep in mind, these are not ordered within the tier lists themselves. So if we look at this tier list here, there's a new tier list. So if I go to A tier, or even S tier, Joseph's up at top. Not in order, because Kakyoin is going to do way more damage. Or if I actually look at screen here, someone like Jochio or Koichi is going to be way better, more helpful for your team than Joseph. Alright. So, we have the tiers as usual. I'll just read out. I'm not going to read who's in it. I'm just going to read what they are. So, these are characters who are openly accessible via the in-game play, will either give you good value outright to counteract the difficulty in promoting them, or will provide good value per their investment over time. So, for example, someone like Koichi or Enya, for example, he says here, the end or be all free-to-play unit. So, that's saying, so Enya is the best healer in the game at the moment. So if you're free to play, she's still in S tier. She can be a pain to get, but she is so useful. It is worth the time and the pain to get them. Same as Koichi or something like that. Next one for A tier. These are characters who are either accessible and just not as potent as the folks in SS, less accessible but are as strong as folks in SS, or both accessible and strong but require a bit of investment. There for that one. So Jolene, Jonathan, stuff like that. Then B tier. I think that's fair enough. Like Funny Valentine is really good, but if you're a free-to-play player, going for him in general is a lot of time and effort, but also to really help synergize. Now, he's very good on his own. You'll see he's triple S when it comes to pay to win stuff, for the people that can take the time to get him. But when you're, going for him, and then you also should most likely have another hermit to pack it up and stuff like that, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort. B tier. Oh, sorry. Yeah, B tier. Yes, I missed it. B tier. These are characters who are either not quite as impactful or accessible as A tier, or require workarounds or comps that might be hard to field on a limited budget. There's some news in here. Look at this. Shigechi has been promoted, which I'll go into in a moment when I go to the other tier list. But if we see here how the mighty has risen, recent research and strategies show that Shigechi, spelled wrong, Shigeki, actually isn't all that bad as a healer when you lack other dedicated options. At much later points of the game, he becomes the best non-Enya healer, so he might be worth your time and investment. That is crazy, because I don't know if you see my previous videos, I've actually been dunking on him. But now, and it's really good to see now that the game has been out for much longer, a lot more people are in it and experimenting and have got him to the end game. It's really cool seeing some of these characters actually be fantastic to see. Food fighter, I'm still saying is dog. And you'll see why in the tier list. But yeah, it's good to see that we're finally getting more builds and stuff like that, which I will be covering. The video, I need to write a script for it. It's a very in-depth video, so I'm just trying to make it clear and concise. It will be coming out to builds and who to build and stuff like that for your team that you want. Not in general, just if you want to go for a specific route. So it's coming out. Josuke, stuff like this. I will make videos on these guys. I plan on making videos on these guys specifically, like each one, and where they rank and why they rank there. In shorts, they'll be slowly coming out. I'm doing stuff like at the moment. I don't know if you saw my video today. I'm rambling. Let's keep going. I'll just read this one as well. So Nurancia, he has fire. He is great with Abdol, but if you're not running Abdol, ideally you want to have two stacking. When I mean stacking, I mean debuffs. So for example, bleed, disease. These are the only three, because there's the stand. If you use the stand as well. So you want to have more. So if you're just having Nurancia, you're really missing out on his kit, and especially missing out with Abdol as well. So you put them together, stuff like that. This is synergy based. So for example, in B tier, you need to work around it or require workarounds or comps that might be hard on a limited budget. That's what it means like that. You need someone else to back them up to make it good. And do you really want to spend that investment in Abdol? Look, maybe not. C characters. These are characters who either require too much investment to be good or are simply fully outclassed by almost everyone else in their field. Like that, like Chicolotta. Oh, how he's gone down. Feels bad. Trish. Yeah, she wasn't really ever good. Then D, awful, terrible, just bad, Foo Fighter and Seko. And then food tier is, of course, the epic heroes like Stroheim, Ganachi, stuff like that, because they don't go past 9 stars. If we go, missed it. If we go here, so look at it. This is it, tier list that they've done for the free-to-play, updated. Funny Valentine's in there now. Diavolo's looking big as usual. Shigeko's been bumped up, which is cool to see. Jolene and stuff like that. So yeah, it shows you their ideas to go around. And now basically what this is that if you're free to play, you will slowly, eventually, in a long time, you could have a full hermit team or full union or mix of both, or all the new characters. I know some people are getting the limited time characters to 5 stars already now, since they've been a second time through, third time through for some. Yes, but these are just to give you an example of who to use in the meantime, or to go down that route. For example, bleed, you can use Mista as a tank instead of Jotaro or something, and you can invest into like Vamp Dio or Diavolo, because he does bleed too, Mista, just to synergize well. Now, if we go off that, because there's a bit more detail in the pay to win, because I feel like the free to play is nice, but people really want to see the pay to win, because that's what shows like the best, and that's what people want to go for. So I'll be a little bit more detail if I can in this one. So, pay to win, the rat, big thanks to him again, always. This list presumes access to all resources available within the game, including full upgrades in Halo and artifacts, along with the top affixes for emblems and targets. So remember that, this is like the end game of end games, basically. or if you have a lot of money. Basically, if it's something you can have access to, the list presumes you do. You could consider it a sort of investment gauge for many characters. Limited characters, specific compositions, anything goes. So there you are. Let's go down. So, it has the tier lists and what they are. So let's say that. SSS. So this has just been added. SSS, triple S tier. Unquestionable kings and queens of the ring. These characters are not only usable in a variety of comps outside their best, but also provide some of the most oppressive and game-breaking capabilities available. If SS tier is considered the pinnacle, this would be considered the heavens. Gosh, if Rat wrote all this, he has a way of words. So Funny Valentine is insane. One, because at the start of the game it does damage to everyone, and then he does a percentage of the health, which I believe is max 5%, and then he turns into shields, which is crazy. You see people's health just chunk all of a sudden, and then damage, buffs Hermit team, stuff. He's insane. I've added him to my team. Check out last video. So good. I'm beating people that are like 3-4 million people ahead of me. It's crazy. SS tier. These are your characters that at the top of the game provide an incredible total yield in power and effectiveness. These characters either have no replacement below of this tier or have roles that cannot be replicated fully otherwise. You could make a team of only characters from this tier and would get extreme value off it. They are the foundation of any good composition, and some even create entirely new niches for the characters below them and raise their value. So we've got Jotaro in there. Best tank in the game, people are saying, and I agree. Damage reduction is crazy. Kyoshi buffs union characters. Basic attacks are crazy. Armor break. He helps out the team. Awesome utility support type of guy. Not healing, but support. Dio is the second best tank. Very good for a Hermit team if you're going down that line of Funny Valentine. And then Bleed as well, most likely work into that. With his taunt is very nice as well. Really focuses on him. Bujarati, one for free-to-play players, but also does a lot of damage and bleed, which is nice. Enya, best healer, goated, especially if you have the skin. You're lucky. I have her too. I love the skin. Revive, damage boost as well. Healing is insane. Dio Brando, the bleed, besides, of course, Diavolo, but Dio Brando makes it fantastic. The Dio Vampire. Risotto is very good. He's a bit lower. If we were placing them, I would put him sort of on the end, in my opinion. I haven't used him much, but I have seen him. He does put in the work, but compared to everyone else on this list, like Diavolo, Kakyoin, stuff like that, he's there, and he sits up top. He's top pinnacle, as we said, where he's sort of at that bottom end, but he's really, really good. Putting bleed, disease as well. Especially now after his fix, he's got bug fix now. He finally does bleeding, so it makes the bleed team more super powerful. GER, best assist in the game. Fantastic, people saying. There are other team comps you can do if you do want to go a different assist route that are working out really well with like normal Giorno. But fantastic. Diavolo is just one of my second favorite stand. Awesome. Kakyoin, of course, always at the top. Not triple S, but he's always at the top now. And then Iggy, best, basically free-to-play tank. Fantastic damage reduction, shield. Really, really good. Next is, I want to go through this quickly. S. There are characters who are incredibly effective at certain specific roles or niches, and in some ways could be SS quality in the right comp. They simply are not as universally applicable as the people in SS tier, or serve a function better suited for SS tier characters, i.e. Young Joseph versus Joe Aitsuke, which is in here. GE is normal golden experience is doing very well. Joseph is probably, in my opinion at the moment, besides Bujarati, but I prefer Young Joseph over Bujarati. I think he is probably the best damage free to play. Or I should maybe correct myself. He's the best Valor. That really breaks it down, doesn't it? But I think he's very, very handy, very, very useful in teams. I recommend you getting him. And then, of course, Josuke Part 8, he needs to be like 11 stars, 10 stars if Bacon to really put in that extra work. But when you do, he's awesome. GE he's really good at, people are using him now for putting him as like the first spot, dying, because then he gives a non-dispellable buff to everyone boosting damage and stuff like that. So I've been using him as a sacrifice, and then Jotaro as assist, for example. So GE dies, and then Jotaro comes in and then gives everyone a buff. That's what's been happening recently in a lot of comps that I've been seeing. So really, really cool to see new stuff being explored finally. A tier. These are characters who, or shown properly. These are characters, A tier. These are characters whom have the potential to be included in SS or S and SS tier composition due to their sheer output potential. However, they are generally outclassed by the higher options. That basically just means they are fantastic. Like, I really like Jonathan and Abdul, but when you have, a Koichi and a Kakyoin, Narensia and Abdul together, best buds, fire team, but Koichi and Kakyoin, they go hand in hand. You know what I mean? Like Vegemite on toast. Australian coming out there. Mista and Shigeko is performing really well, as talked about before, giving the best non-hermit union, or besides Enya, in the game, just heal-wise. So it's awesome to see that he's finally the GOAT, the king is coming up. Now let's finish this off quickly, and then I can go to the next part. B, these are characters who have aspects that make them good, hell, in a niche situation, great even, but just lack the splash ability or throughput to make them in the higher rungs. So for example, Poochie, Jolene. I know a lot of people have been using Jolene for the heal, but also the damage buff she's been giving. Zeppeli and Pet Shop. I think that's fair explained. They're good in their own right, but they just get really, really just outclassed by the other people there, or don't offer that much in their kit. C tier. These are characters who are functional, but not viable. You can consider these characters as people you can pick if they are favorite, and having one in your team won't break it, but most of them are not going to bring you any benefit to the team in any real tangible way that someone for any tier above couldn't. So Josuke, for example, if you have Enya, is just 100 times better. Enya is 100 times better than Josuke. Kaz needs a lot to put around him, and you can just not use him and you won't even notice him. Chikolotta, how he's fallen down ever since his character fix. It wasn't a nerf, it was character fix. It was broken. If you didn't know, the text was not doing what it said it was doing, so it was attacking more people, so it was getting him more damage, so it was really, really good. Polnareff just falls off late game. Basically, simple as that. Single target characters are good, but he just didn't do the damage output needed. And then Lisa, looking hot, feels bad. Finally, D tier. These are characters whose output is so low that bringing them would be actively detrimental to your composition and will make your team weaker. In a manner of speaking, these characters are not just unviable for pay-to-win compositions or fully realized late-game account. Their presence taking up a slot will make your team more likely to lose against any other composition at the same stage or PvE fight. Do not bring these characters. Yeah. Feels bad, Seko, Trish. You just don't want to use them. Don't use them at that point. Prosciutto was doing alright, but then he's been knocked down, unfortunately. Which I can see why. He doesn't offer anything. He just does heal ban. Or heal reduction, really. Which is like F. Like anything else, any stacking would be so much better buff. So that's going on there. Super, super cool to see. And this will be very good to pair with my video that I'll be releasing shortly. List guide. So that's all the names there if you want to have a look quickly. Now, this is what I wanted to get to. This is awesome. This list order no way reflects the ranking of units. They are not ranked in any such way within their respective tier. So, changelog. So, Funny Valentine has been added to SS tier. SSSS, triple S tier. Iggy has been raised to double S, which is awesome to see. Gappy has been dropped to S, just because he's getting a bit outclassed by the other limited time events. And he takes so much investment to get into, and team comp to make it really stand out. That's why he's in S tier. But he's still fantastic. If you have another team, he's going to do really... Like, I don't mean that in like, oh, he's trash. I mean, like, he's still really, really good and doing tons of damage. Juno G has been raised up to S. I think with that debuff, and also has good healing with his chain link. So, yeah. Abdul to A. Cool to see. I love Abdul. Pain in the ass to burst when you're doing PvE because he just keeps the fight longer. Shigeki has been raised to A. Cool to see. Zeppeli and Jolene raised to B. Josuke raised to C. Kaz dropped to C, and Chikolotta dropped to C. That's the change there. That is the tier list. I hope you all enjoy. This will be the end of me because I wanted this quick, concise, just to let you know. If you want any more details of why things are how they are and stuff like that, let me know in the comments. I just didn't want this video to get very long because it sort of covers what happens before. I just wanted to go in depth with it since I properly updated it properly this time. Properly. So yeah, so that's happening there. Super cool. That's the team if you want to see it. Actually, is that the right one? That's the wrong one. There we go. That's the right one there. Remember, make team comps that work together. We'll show them off and I'll talk about them soon enough for you guys. That'll be it for me. Hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!